Joe Burrow is down, and the entire AFC North just got turned upside down. Cincinnati's golden boy, the franchise quarterback who put the Bengals back on the NFL map, is officially out with a brutal grade 3 turf toe injury. Surgery is scheduled, recovery is going to take months, and if we're being honest, this might have just ended Cincinnati's hopes of a deep playoff run. The Bengals went from being a legitimate threat to Baltimore's throne to scrambling just to stay relevant, and it all happened in one play. And here, where it gets even crazier, instead of just sticking with Jake Browning and hopping for the best, the Bengals have reportedly started calling around the league looking for quarterback help, and one name keeps popping up: Shedeur Sanders. Yeah, you heard that right. Deion Sanders' son, the Browns' rookie quarterback, the guy who has Cleveland fans buzzing about the future. That's who Cincinnati wants to pry away in the middle of the season. But here's the problem: Cleveland isn't interested. At all. Owner Jimmy Haslam and the Browns' front office apparently didn't even bother calling the Bengals back after they floated a proposal of a 4th-round and 6th-round pick for Sanders. No negotiation, no counteroffer, just silence. And honestly, can you blame them? This isn't just a trade rumor. This is a full-blown AFC North power struggle playing out in real time. Cincinnati is desperate. Cleveland is standing firm. And every decision made over the next few weeks could reshape the balance of power in this division for years to come. Buckle up, because this story is just getting started. Before we go any further, let's talk about this injury that has the Bengals in panic mode: grade 3 turf toe. A lot of fans hear the name and think, come on, it's just a toe injury, how bad could it be? But trust me, this is no joke. Turf toe is basically a sprain of the main joint of the big toe, and it happens when the toe is bent too far upward, usually when a player's cleat sticks in the turf as they push off. It's incredibly painful, but more importantly, it completely robs a quarterback of his ability to plant, push, and throw with power. Now there are 3 grades of turf toe, and grade 3 is the worst-case scenario. We're talking a complete tear of the ligaments around that joint. That's not just soreness, that's major structural damage. When you hear grade 3, it almost always means surgery, weeks in a boot, and months of recovery. For a quarterback like Joe Burrow, whose entire throwing motion depends on his ability to drive off his back foot and step into throws, this is devastating. Even when players come back from a grade 3 turf toe, it can take time to get their mechanics right and regain confidence planting that foot. That means the Bengals aren't just losing Burrow for a few games, they're potentially getting a less than 100% Burrow even after he returns. So when you see Cincinnati scrambling to find a replacement, this is why. You can't just tape it up and gut it out. A grade 3 turf toe puts a hard stop on your season if you're a quarterback, which is exactly why the Bengals are suddenly in desperation mode and calling around the league looking for help. The moment news broke about Joe Burrow's injury, the Bengals' entire season took a sharp turn. One minute, Cincinnati was a legitimate AFC contender with Super Bowl aspirations, and the next, they're staring at Jake Browning as their starting quarterback. Now, Browning has been serviceable in limited action. He's got decent arm strength. He can run the offense, and he did enough last year to prove he's a capable backup. But let's be real, this is a massive drop-off from Joe Burrow. The Bengals' offense was built around Burrow's timing, accuracy, and ability to elevate everyone around him. Ja'Marr Chase, T. Higgins, Tyler Boyd, they all look different when Burrow is under center. Without him, Cincinnati has to scale back the playbook, rely more heavily on Joe Mixon and the run game, and hope the defense can keep games close. That's not exactly a winning formula in a loaded AFC North. And here's the real problem. The Bengals' window is wide open right now. They're paying top dollar for their weapons, they have one of the better defenses in the league, and they know that every wasted season is a missed opportunity. So naturally, they're exploring every possible quarterback option. Free agents, practice squad players, and yes, even calling division rivals like Cleveland about Shedeur Sanders. This is pure desperation mode. The front office knows that rolling with Browning for 3 months could mean missing the playoffs entirely. And for a team that just committed hundreds of millions to Joe Burrow, that's not acceptable. So expect the phone calls to continue, because Cincinnati isn't done searching for a way to salvage this season. Now let's really break down this trade proposal, because on paper, it looks almost laughable. According to Yahoo Sports, the Bengals reportedly floated an offer of a 4th-round pick and a 6th-round pick in next year's draft in exchange for Shedeur Sanders. 2 mid- to late-round picks for the Browns, most exciting rookie quarterback. That's it. Look, I get where Cincinnati is coming from. They're desperate, and they probably think they're doing Cleveland a favor by offering anything at all for a 5th-round pick who hasn't played a regular season snap yet. But this is where context matters. Shedeur isn't just any 5th-rounder. He's one of the most talked-about rookies in the league, a guy who could have gone in the 1st or 2nd round if teams weren't worried about his outspoken personality and his father's influence. Cleveland took the risk, and now they're holding a potential franchise quarterback on a cheap rookie deal. That's an insanely valuable asset. From a pure value standpoint, a 4th and a 6th isn't even close. Recent trades for starting caliber quarterbacks, even unproven ones, have gone for 2nd or 3rd-round picks, sometimes more. Add in the fact that this is a division rival asking for him, and you'd have to massively overpay just to get Cleveland to pick up the phone. So, when Jimmy Haslam and the Browns front office reportedly didn't even respond to the proposal, it wasn't arrogance, it was smart business. Trading Shedeur for scraps would have been a franchise-crippling move. If Cincinnati really wants him, they'd better be ready to put something significant on the table, because 2 mid-round picks just aren't going to cut it. This whole situation isn't just about one player, it's about the chess match that is the AFC North. For the Bengals, trading for Shedeur Sanders would be about survival. They know that without Joe Burrow, they're in danger of falling behind Baltimore, Pittsburgh, and even Cleveland in the standings. Sanders would at least give them a dynamic, high-upside option who could grow into the role as the season goes on. If he flashes, Cincinnati might stay in the playoff hunt long enough for Burrow to return and make a late push. But for the Browns, the implications are even bigger. This is a team that's been searching for a franchise quarterback for decades. They finally have 2 promising rookies in Dillon Gabriel and Shedeur Sanders, and the plan is clearly to develop them behind veterans until one proves he's ready to take over. Trading Shedeur right now would mean giving up half of that future, and doing it to help a hated division rival stay afloat. That's not just a football decision, that's a culture decision. There's also the fan base to consider. Browns fans are excited about Shedeur. They're buying his jerseys, they're buzzing about his preseason performances, and they're dreaming about him becoming the guy who finally stabilizes the QB position in Cleveland. Trading him for mid-round picks would feel like another front office blunder in a franchise history full of them. Strategically, keeping Shedeur is about more than just talent. It's about sending a message that Cleveland is done being the team other franchises call when they're desperate. They're building for the future, and they're not going to sacrifice that just to bail out Cincinnati. If you've been anywhere near Twitter, Reddit, or even the comment section on ESPN articles since this news broke, you know fans have been absolutely losing their minds over this trade rumor. Browns fans, for the most part, are united. There's no way they want to see Shedeur Sanders leave Cleveland. Many are calling the Bengals offer disrespectful and even insulting. You'll find posts with memes clowning Cincinnati for thinking they could get the Browns' future for a couple of lottery ticket draft picks. On the flip side, Bengals fans are split. Some think Shedeur could be the perfect bridge QB to keep their playoff hopes alive while Burrow recovers. Others are hesitant, pointing out that he's an unproven rookie and wondering if 2 draft picks is too high of a price for a guy who's never thrown an NFL pass in a regular season game. The media, meanwhile, has been eating this story up. Sports talk shows have been debating it nonstop. Some analysts think the Browns should at least consider the deal since they also have Dillon Gabriel waiting in the wings, while others say this is exactly the kind of bold, long-term stance Cleveland needs to take if they want to change their reputation. Even former players are weighing in. A few ex-Browns have publicly praised the front office for holding firm, saying it shows that the organization is finally prioritizing its own future over helping out rivals. In other words, this isn't just a trade rumor, It's a full-blown AFC North soap opera. And as the trade deadline creeps closer, the pressure on both teams is only going to grow, which means the fan debates and hot takes will keep getting louder. All right, here's my honest take. The Browns absolutely cannot trade Shedeur Sanders right now. Not for a 4th and 6th. Not for a 3rd. Honestly, maybe not even for a 2nd. This kid represents something Cleveland has been missing for years. Legitimate, homegrown hope at quarterback. That's not something you just give away, especially to a division rival. Cleveland has spent decades searching for stability under center. They've gone through draft busts, veteran stopgaps, and more quarterback controversies than most franchises could survive. And now, they finally have a chance to develop not one but 2 young signal callers who could grow into the job. That's the kind of luxury that good organizations use to set themselves up for a decade of success. Trading Shedeur now would be selling low. We haven't even seen what he can do in meaningful regular season action. His preseason flashes were enough to get fans buzzing, and if he keeps developing, his value will only go up. The Browns have no reason to rush this. And beyond all that, this is Cincinnati we're talking about. Why on earth would Cleveland help the Bengals stay competitive while their franchise quarterback is out? This is the perfect opportunity to let them struggle, maybe even miss the playoffs, and shift the balance of power in the division. You don't throw them a life raft. So my verdict is simple. Hang up the phone. Let Shedeur sit, learn, and develop in Cleveland. If anything, this situation should fire the team up to get him ready faster, because when he does get his shot, the Browns might finally have their long-term answer at quarterback. So where does this go from here? The next few weeks are going to be crucial, not just for the Bengals, but for the entire AFC North. First, all eyes will be on Jake Browning. Can he hold down the fort and keep Cincinnati's season alive? If he struggles badly over the next 2 or 3 games, you can bet the Bengals' front office will get even more aggressive in their search for quarterback help. That could mean revisiting the Shedeur Sanders idea with a much more serious offer, or looking elsewhere entirely. On the Browns' side, the biggest question is how long they plan to keep Shedeur on the bench. If Joe Flacco or whoever is starting ahead of him struggles, the pressure from fans and media to give Sanders a shot is going to grow louder every week. A single primetime game with poor quarterback play could flip the entire narrative and force Kevin Stefanski's hand. And then there's the calendar. The NFL trade deadline is looming, and as we get closer, the desperation level for quarterback-needy teams rises. If Cincinnati is still in playoff contention by then, they may come back with a package that's too big to ignore, maybe even a first-round pick. That's when things get really interesting. Bottom line, this story is far from over. Whether Shedeur takes the field for Cleveland this year, or whether Cincinnati ups the ante to try and pry him away, the drama is only just beginning. Keep your eyes on the injury reports, the Bengals, win-loss column, and every rumor that drops, because the next move could change the AFC North for years to come. At the end of the day, this is bigger than one injury or one trade rumor. This is a defining moment for both the Bengals and the Browns. Cincinnati is in full-on survival mode, doing everything they can to stay in the playoff hunt without Joe Burrow. Cleveland, meanwhile, has a golden opportunity to protect its future, develop its young talent, and maybe, just maybe, flip the balance of power in the AFC North. The Browns' decision to shut the door on Cincinnati's offer wasn't just about draft picks. It was about making a statement. They're not the team you call when you need a bailout anymore. They're not going to hand over their most exciting rookie just so a rival can stay competitive. And honestly, that's exactly what Browns fans have been waiting to see, an organization that values its future and refuses to get pushed around. But here, where you come in, I want to know what you think about this entire situation. Should the Browns stand firm and keep Shedeur Sanders no matter what? Or would you take the right deal if the Bengals came back with something bigger, maybe even a first-round pick? Do you think Shedeur will eventually become the Browns' starter this season, or does he need a full year of development before we see him? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Type Y if you'd trade Shedeur, and if you'd keep him no matter what. I read as many as I can and love hearing where you guys stand. And if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell. Because trust me, with Burrow out and the AFC North wide open, the drama is just getting started.
If you enjoyed today's breakdown and want to keep up with all the drama, trades, and behind-the-scenes action in the NFL, then don't forget to hit that like button. It really helps this channel grow and lets us know you love this kind of content. And hey, don't keep it to yourself. Share this video with your friends, your group chats, or anyone who loves football as much as you do. The more the conversation spreads, the better it gets. Most importantly, if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to the channel and tap the notification bell. That way, you'll never miss when we drop fresh stories, wild rumors, or breaking updates that the mainstream media won't talk about.